so many parallels between art and entrepreneurship. It's really the same thing, honestly. And
Show
one
business,
of the
yeah.
and one of the things that I learned when I was running Venture for America is that artists and entrepreneurs actually have the same impact on a community. Where if you have high artist density, then economic development follows. In the same way that if you have high entrepreneurship density, then economic development follows. When I found that out, I was blown away. I was like, because art, instead of thinking of it as like this side thing that's like economically marginal, it's actually like an economic driver. And there are so many parallels to the creative process and entrepreneurship, or starting a business, or running an organization, or presenting a vision and getting people excited and raising money for it and all of that, that there are so many successful entrepreneurs I know who started out as artists.
It's funny, even as a doctor, I found like the really good doctors made their own work their art. I really thought of medicine, if you were fully vested in medicine, if you knew your medicine inside and out, you knew your vocabulary, you knew how to treat, you knew how to manage a patient. The next level is having your own style of management, how to manage patients, how to manage patient care. And each doctor had their own unique style. And the ones that were really good physicians knew that. And so I felt there was that philosophy of making your work your art, you know.
Yeah.
And
like
so
the integrated self.
The integrated self.
You're bringing all of yourself to it,
Yeah.
whether it's treating patients or producing a TV show or starting a business or whatever it is. Like, you know, if you're bringing your whole self to it, then it's not just following a bunch of steps. Like it becomes you.
And it's funny because when you go into the business world, you're looking for outside the box ideas, ways to shift the paradigm, ways to raise some idea next level. And it's not surprising to me that when you think about it, anyone who goes into business who has a career as an artist, they're the ones that can make the biggest strides. You know, sometimes it's not about reinventing. It's just kind of refocusing, you know, something. It could be sometimes the adjustments can be minor, and that just makes a big difference. And and it's
really rare, because most people you meet compartmentalize to be able to do their jobs. You know what I mean? They like show up and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then when they punch out, then they just completely leave it behind. I mean, that's the way a lot of people approach their job. That's one of the things I struggled with when I was an unhappy attorney for 5 whole months, where I was like, man, like, you know, I don't think I'm going to succeed at this, because the last thing I want to think about when I'm not in the office is freaking like whatever, like contracts or like legal work I'm assigned. It's like, I need to find something I care about more deeply. And that's one of the goals, hopefully. You know, it's like, and this is such a terrible time. Like, one of the things that breaks my heart about the coronavirus crisis is I think it's doing a number on the entrepreneurial tendencies of an entire generation. Like, it is like people who are out on a limb taking risks, starting small businesses right now, destroyed. Like, if you're a young person, you're seeing your future become much more insecure. And there's some like bullshit around entrepreneurship that's like, oh, like when things are terrible, like, you know, great entrepreneurs will emerge. It's like, yeah, you know, like
yeah, maybe, you know, yeah, there's an argument to be made sometime in recession or depressionary times. Yeah, you can have that kind of outburst of ideas, but during a pandemic, you know, no one really knows right now, man. It's just like you said, there is a putting a pin in the entrepreneurial spirit right now. You know, because people dream of moving to the big city from a small city. But if you're moving to a large city right now where you have that density, where you're at more risk of getting coronavirus, you know, so there's a lot of, you know, if my kids were older and they were in that position of moving or wanting to find that vocational, if they were on that vocational bubble right now, I would tell them, I would just think of it as kind of a suspension of it right now.
We hope it's a suspension. Yeah.
I mean, we need not to pivot right now, but medically speaking, I mean, we talk about serologies and everything, but we need a vaccine.